Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn how to make an issue tree, also known as a decision tree. Essentially, this is a method for organizing your thoughts into a structure that's quick and easy to communicate to others. This approach is so effective that a former McKinsey consultant named Barbara Minto actually wrote a book on it called The Minto Pyramid Principle. I highly recommend reading this book if you want to understand the thinking behind issue trees and become better at using the approach. Today, issue trees are widely used, not only in case interviews or consulting engagements, but in any situation where you need to communicate a complicated idea in a way that's easily understood. So why is it that issue trees are so popular, and why should you use them? Imagine a businesswoman, a vice president of a large company. She's busy, and she doesn't have an hour to listen to a presentation, at least not before she's bought into the idea or recommendation. She needs to know the most important facts right now so that she can make a decision on whether or not to move forward. In the past, you've probably been taught to organize your arguments on ideas by first establishing your credibility and the basis of your arguments with lots of background information, only getting to your findings or key points towards the end of your paper or presentation. But going back to the example of the businesswoman, she doesn't have time to listen to all of that background. So, to make the best use of your time in front of that key decision maker, that businesswoman, you can use an issue tree. An issue tree will force you to organize your thoughts into a structure where you start with the main point or recommendation and follow up with the supporting arguments or reasons why. The goal of an issue tree is to get to a level of why that aligns with the goals and motivations of your audience. You'll see what I mean by this when we get into some examples in a moment. So how do you do it? Let's start with a simple example. Let's imagine that you're trying to convince your roommate that you should order pizza tonight. You start with your recommendation, which is that you should order pizza. Then you go into the first level of why. 3 supporting arguments. It's cheap, it tastes good, and the pizza place is located nearby. After that, you go into the next level of why. By ordering pizza, we'll save money so we can get ice cream as well. We'll get to enjoy a satisfying meal that will also give us energy, and we'll save money on gas or save time because the food can be delivered. So hopefully from this simple example, you're starting to understand why structuring your arguments this way can be beneficial. If you simply said, we should get pizza, your roommate might be likely to disagree. But when they can see that by getting pizza, they'll get energy and they can get ice cream later, they might be more likely to buy into your idea. But you're probably hoping to do more with issue trees than just convince someone to order pizza. So next, let's look at a fictional business scenario like one you might encounter in a case interview. Tele Phone Company is a mobile carrier that operates in the UK. They're considering expanding to the US market, but before they do that, they want to ensure that the expansion will be profitable. They know from market research that the market size is 50 million, and Tele expects to capture 10% of that market within the first year of entering the market. Tele's profit margin is 20%, and each customer typically spends $2,000 per year. Net operating expense for brick-and-mortar stores is $250,000 per store per year, and marketing for brick-and-mortar stores is $12,000 per store per year. Each store will service 15,000 customers. On the other hand, an e-commerce only marketing strategy would cost $1 million per year. Should Tele open physical stores or launch in the US market with an e-commerce presence only? When you're facing a question like this, there's some work that you'll need to do to get to your recommendation, the foundation of the issue tree. There's also some questions you might want to ask of the case interviewer in order to get more information to help you make your recommendation. But for the sake of time, I've already done that here, and I've decided to recommend an e-commerce only strategy. So that's the start of my issue tree. And then I build out the first and second levels of why. So not only will this issue tree structure help the decision maker or case interviewer to follow your logic, it will also help you to follow your thought process and communicate those thoughts in a clear manner, even when you're nervous. So in conclusion, issue trees are one of the most important concepts for someone who wants to go into consulting to understand. And essentially, the idea is that you should communicate by starting with the main point and following up with the reasons why. Whether you end up working as a consultant or not, using this approach will help you to communicate your recommendations in a clear way that will get buy-in from stakeholders and decision makers, and ultimately, using issue trees could really elevate your career. Thanks for watching.